Okay, in this video today, I'm wanting to show how the shared emails work that we have within the company. This refers to the PEQ pumps email and the AC parts email. They'll both work the same. I'm only going to show you stuff in the pump email, since that's the one that I work out of mostly. But it will be the same kind of flow and organization for both emails. So here, um, this is the PEQ pumps inbox, as you can see right here. Um, so the way it's supposed to work is whoever has access to the emails are supposed to be checking in on the emails regularly, and they're just supposed to get grabbed. The emails are just supposed to get grabbed by whoever is available to take the next email. So there's not necessarily, unless the AC parts have it set up differently to where Pete only handles Memphis and Chad only handles Little Rock. That may be the case. Um, I don't do that in the pump email. I handle whatever comes in. Um, so if y'all want to set up some sort of agreement to where this person handles these customers, whatever, that's fine too. This is mainly more about how do we keep the emails organized and how do we keep it looking clean and taking care of our customers, which is the most important. So what you'll see here, um, these three emails that have come in this morning. I have this one right here. It says it's categorized for Beth. So first of all, the way I have this organized, I recommend everyone does that organize the inbox by categories right here. You just check it by categories. That way, it'll sort the emails by whoever you have them categorized for. So this one right here is for Beth. We typically don't have emails sitting in here this long, but she is waiting for an order acknowledgement from the vendor. That's why it is still in here. But the way it'll happen is when you have an email come in, I'm just going to start with this first one to show you. So this first one is an order acknowledgement from Warren Rupp, and you can see that the PO number references order that Chad did. So for this one, what I will do, unless Chad comes in here and grabs it first, what I do is I will right click, categorize, and click it for Chad. I don't know what the other people like to do with their order acknowledgments. I know I covered that in a previous video, what I do with my paperwork. But for my order acknowledgments from the vendors, I just file them in the customer folder, which we'll get to here in a second. These two right here, so this right here is for something that I had quoted yesterday. So you can see right here, he asked for price and delivery on these Ibarra pumps. I shot him an email real quick, and now he's ready to order it. So this is something that I'm going to handle. Anyone could handle this if I was out of town. This is the reason I'm having this shared email. If I was sick or something and couldn't get to it, that's why we have this. But I'm here, so I'll handle it. So I'll go in here and mark it as my name, and it moves it down here, and everyone can see visibly this is my email. So this one is for the same thing. I emailed in Warren Ruff this morning and asked a question about which pump replaces this one. I had a picture attached, and this is what they sent me back. So this is also one of my emails. Um, the most important thing for the pump email is to make sure it is kept clean, up to date. Well, this is for both shared emails. Um, Clean, up to date, not a bunch of random emails sitting in there, not a bunch of junk sitting in there, not a bunch of disorganization. If you're unclear about what needs to happen with an email, ask someone. Don't just let it sit in there because then it just looks trashy and messy, and it can get disorganized really quick with different people working in it. So what happens is from here, I'm going to go ahead and move through this one so you can see how it works. He's responding saying that, hey, these pump series are no longer available, replaced by this one. This HDF one is the same function, different form and fit. So he also attached two links to manuals for these pumps. So what I'm going to do is I want the customer to know about this and he can make his decision on what he wants to do. So this is for Acme Brick. Now I know that because I started that this morning, but I also, when I send emails and request stuff, I put case numbers. This is how I remember what it's for. It also helps separate stuff from day to day, maybe for the same customers. The case number I do is just the customer's initials. AB is Acme Brick, and then it's today's date, 02/29/2024, and then my initials on the end. That way everyone can see this is something I started. So anyway, I copied this email that I want to send to the customer, and what I will go ahead and do is I will, let's see, Acme Brick. I'm looking for it over here. All right, so Acme Brick over here. I want to go ahead and go over here and find the last email I sent to the customer to respond to. So right here it says order confirmation. I told him I'd send him a new quote for the pump ASAP, but I want him to see the difference in the pumps first before we quote. So what I do here is I want to respond to the customer, and the pump email, for some reason, it always wants to send an email back to the pump email. You do not need that. And I'll show you why. Just take it off so you're not sending the email back to the pump email. And I'm going to let the customer know. Let's see. Okay, so there I've pasted in that email from Sandpiper, and I will go ahead and send this. Okay, so now that the email that I was working with in the pump email is done in the pump inbox, I can mark it as read, and to get it out of the way, I'll move it to the Acme Brick folder. I go to my sent items. The sent items is not like a generic inbox. It's not a shared sent folder like the inbox is. This is it's your personal inbox, but you can see it came from PEQ pumps. So what you need to do is take your sent folder and put it in Acme Brick as well. If you do not put your sent folders or your sent emails in the customer folder as well, we cannot see the back and forth conversation. So for example, this email right here, I asked the customer to send me his address so we could process the order right here. He said that he wanted to order these 2 kits we quoted, and he gave me the PO number. So if I did not put the sent item back in here, which is right here, where I said, hey, your order acknowledgement is attached, and I'll send a quote for this pump, how would anyone else know that I processed the order? Well, they wouldn't. So if I was out of town, what could happen is Miss Beth or Chad over there in Arkansas, he could check in on this for me if the customer said, hey, well, I need to update on my order. Well, he could go to the Acme Brick folder. He could find my order confirmation, or the order confirmation right here has my sales order number, has their PO number, it has everything they need to look. They can look it up in Great Plains, find my purchase order that's linked to it, email the vendor to get an update. They could do all that. Now, if I didn't have this in here, they wouldn't be able to do that. They'd have to ask the customer for some more information, like, hey, what did you order? Or what was your purchase order we can look at? Like, they'd have to ask more questions. Not saying it's impossible to find. It just makes it a lot harder. This is the best way to see if the customer is getting handled when you put your sent items back into the customer folder. If you don't, like I said, we have no way of seeing if it's getting handled. Also, make sure when you work in the pump email, I know this one's mine. I'll go ahead and mark it for me. When you are working in the pump email or anything you do for PEQ pumps or AC parts, it should never get sent from your personal company email. It should get sent from the PEQ pumps email or from the AC parts email. So what you'll see is what happens is if I go to send a new email, it automatically wants to pull up my power equipment personal email. Well, I change that to pump if I'm going to send something regarding the pump email to a customer, to a vendor, something I want to track. I keep it there. It's especially important that you don't email your personal email to customers, not because we don't want them emailing us, but because we want them using the centralized email. Because if they are emailing you personally, that's not going to help us if you are out of town. We can't see your personal email, but we can see this one. So if you're sending a quote for something and then you go out of town on Friday and then Tuesday of the next week, the customer emails you back a PO, we can't process that order because we don't know what's there. But if it got emailed to the pump email, well, then we can go back, we can see your quote, we can see all that stuff, and we can process the order for you. So it's very important to make sure you do not email from your personal email. If you do get an email in your personal email, like I have over here, this is some scanned documents that I have to do, some of my different orders and approved invoices. What you would do is, if it was a customer emailing you about something regarding pumps or air compressors, whatever, you would drag it and move it to the pump inbox or the AC parts inbox, depending on what it is. Do not work out of your own email, or like I said, stuff will get lost. Customers keep emailing your own email, and it kind of voids why we have a shared email. We have folders set up over here, like you saw me do, for the customers. They get added as new customers come up. We rarely have to add any now, just because we have so many in here. This is stuff I've been adding in here for the last, let's see, year now. March will be a year. So we got all of our customers in here, where everything gets organized. When you go toward the bottom, you'll see it switches to vendors right here. You got all the vendors. So stuff that goes in the vendor folder is stuff that only pertains to that vendor. Not if you send an email to a vendor about a customer order, that goes in the customer folder, not the vendor folder. So an example of what goes in a vendor folder would be something like this. Loading here. So I forwarded this email that I had to Maxie so he could see where we get Peerless pumps quoted through. It goes through O'Brien Equipment. So I have it in here. That way, if we had a Peerless pump we had to quote, you could come down here and be looking for something with Peerless. Well, it's not under P, but you see right here, I have it in the parentheses. We get it through O'Brien Equipment. So I'm going to have I haven't made a video on it yet, but I'm going to have a spreadsheet set up for where we can get pumps from different vendors and contact information. But for right now, this is what I have. But that's just an example of something that only goes in the vendor file. Stuff like this. Let me see. Let me scroll down. Okay, so this is just, I'm not trying to call anybody out. This is just an example of something that doesn't go in here. These are order acknowledgments for orders that Miss Beth has done. These should go in the customer folder, not in the vendor folder. So just so she can move these, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to move these out of here. Same thing with these. That was one of Miss Beth's orders. That is one of Miss Beth's orders. Move that out of here. All right, I actually moved that to the wrong Sandpiper folder. Sandpiper the customer, not Sandpiper the vendor. That one can get messed up, and I understand that. Some stuff to do with the vendor. Like right here, I have an email chain where I was emailing about an annual return. Well, that only pertains to Warren Rupp Sandpiper, so it's in the vendor folder. Once again, stuff that is for customers, like this one right here, needs to go in the customer folder. I hope that's making sense. If it's not, you can ask me more questions about it later. I just want to try to shoot a quick video. I didn't plan for it to go this long, on about how to use the pump email and all of our other shared emails. If you have any other questions about it, please don't hesitate to ask. It's of utmost importance to me to make sure that whoever is working in these emails knows how to use them and knows how to keep them organized and flow as they should. Like I said, any other questions, feel free to get with me. Thank you.